Hello! This is Way of Weinstein. Wherever you may be and however you may be watching, live in the financial district of New York City. Facebook Live, YouTube, here to talk about, the lightsaber gives it away, Star Wars-The Last Jedi. Now, this review does have spoilers. If you have not seen The Last Jedi, watch it on my YouTube channel. Do not watch this now. Save it for later. Again, this is the last warning. This review has spoilers. Okay, with that being said, I'd like to give a minor shout out to the AMC on 42nd Street in New York City. They handed out these lightsabers on every chair for the 7 o'clock showing. Big fan of AMC. Thought I'd give them a little love on the channel. Thanks for the lightsaber. Okay, that being said, alright, so I'm going to go character by character, and then I'm going to give my top moments of the movie. Okay, start with Rey. So, right where we leave off with her, she's handing a lightsaber, very eager to train and learn more about it, and how she's just, like, you see her calling to the dark. Now, the best parts about Rey were her connection with Luke, who she kind of like installs another father figure, and her connection with Kylo Ren, which was fantastic. I mean, Rey is a huge center point of the top moments of this movie, which I'll get to at the end. Which Rey was fantastic. I mean, Daisy Ridley has really come into her own as here. So, next, Luke. So again, Luke loved him with Rey. He had a great sense of humor. He nailed being in pain and just still feeling guilty for creating Kylo Ren and letting down Leia and letting him, in a way, turn to the dark side. And two other characters I thought he was like, which now are both under the Disney umbrella. Odin, how he's very wise and giving advice to Rey as if she was Thor. And Logan, how, again, spoilers, so Logan, how he had that serum in Logan, he was supposed to space it out, and he sacrificed himself for X-23, like how Luke used all of his force for the duration and sacrificed so the rebel could escape and start a new rebellion. And when he said everything you just said was wrong to Rey and Kylo, and that was amazing. And the second and third time, I really looked closely for the force projection, where if you really look closely, he has no footprint as everyone else when they step. There's a red footprint, but unless you are looking for it, there's no way that you'd be able to find it. So Kylo. So Adam Driver, he's another guy who's great. So you can see the conflict in him and the resentment for Snoke going, and the fact that he wasn't on a pre-established team for a First Order Jedi. He was on his own team and essentially made the First Order Team Kylo, which that was great. And you saw how he didn't take the shot to blow up his mom's ship. And I wonder if he's gonna go back, or if Rey's actually going with them two, or if they're gonna hook up at all. So Snoke, Andy Serkis is just a wizard at motion capture. I mean, you just look at what he's done. King Kong, Gollum. And in real life, he's gonna be in Black Panther as Claw. He can do it all. He does not get enough praise, and I'm going to give him some praise. He is fantastic. So he definitely served his purpose, and he fueled Kylo Ren by insulting him, saying that he's nothing like Vader. He's just a child wearing a mask. Now, one thing I thought was, ooh, this may get a little pushback, but he said that you lost to a girl with no experience. Now, I thought some people were going to be like, oh, you can't say that in today's political climate, but the fact that he soonly followed it up with no experience, or the emphasis wasn't on the fact that he lost to a girl, it was no experience, regardless of what the person was. Granted, could he have said you lost to a Jedi or someone, a Force wielder? Yeah, but that's just me nitpicking that, and the fact that I love the reveal that he was the one that bridged Kylo and Rey's mind. And when he was saying, "I see your every thought," he turns his lightsaber, he ignites it, and he strikes down his true enemy, and you just see him like split apart in two, and then his lightsaber, then the blue lightsaber go to Rey. That was, I'm gonna touch on that more in the top moments. That was great. Okay, so I'm going to call her General Princess Leia. May she rest in peace. She, again, just like Luke Skywalker, I don't think she's ever been better. I mean, I kept thinking she was going to die, and I felt like a mother-son relationship between her and Poe. How he wouldn't listen to her, but they both knew that they were great for each other. Like in a not in any kind of obviously a romantic way, but how they both really helped each other and made each other better. And I love seeing her like wake up and just go through space, and seeing her use the Force a little bit. That was great. And even though technically Luke was never there, you could just tell when we all thought Luke was there through the Force projection, when he kissed her on the forehead. And when he actually died, you could feel the connection. I love the job both actors did. I mean, that was fantastic. All right, so next, Poe. Poe stole every scene he was in. From when the first scene, which I'll get into more, and he was very suave and Tony Stark-like with his sense of humor, which Iron Man being my favorite superhero, you can tell why I love that. And his Hux lines and just disobeying Leia to destroy the Dragnot, and the revolt against Hondo, as Admiral Holdo, and knowing Luke was the one that was sacrificing for, not really sacrificing, but in a way creating the distraction. This way they could get away from Kylo, very Obi-Wan like, which I had a fear that they were just going to copy that, and I like the twist of the Force projection. Okay, so next two characters I didn't like when I saw it the first time, and they grew on me. So Finn, his whole journey to find the Master Codebreaker, the first time, and I've read negative reviews on it, people are complaining about that, saying that could have been cut. Yeah, could have been, but it was imperative to the story. This way they could make sure that they got on the ship and made sure that they couldn't track him through light speed anymore. But they definitely could have cut that, and then finding Benicio del Toro, who I forgot was in it. And his best part was the fight with Phasma, which was awesome. That was cool. Alright, so Rose. Could they have cut her? Yeah, they could have. But again, she grew on me after multiple viewings, and she served as essentially Finn's companion. And if there's going to be a love triangle between Rose, Finn, and Rey, I hope they do that well, and it's not like a Twilight thing where it's like they make that the whole story, and they do it very subtly, like how technically there was a love triangle between Luke, Han, and Leia, but then we realized that Luke and Leia were related. So, considering, if you just look at Finn, Rey, and Rose, I don't think any of them are related. Granted, they could be, but I don't think they are. And yeah, how Rose grew to like and love Finn that much that I don't know if she's dead or not, possibly sacrificed herself and crashed into him before. Alright, so next. Hux. I just love Hux being a punching bag, whether it was Snoke or Kylo just force choking him and just saying, no, get out. That was great. And he played in a way, like a Nazi-like tyrant. In a way, he played that very menacing and very, very well. And very heartless and just the tool. He played that very well. Okay, so Vice Admiral Holdo. At first, I thought she was evil or working on with Snoke, but then how Leia revealed she was more concerned about getting the people to safety and then appearing like a hero, which made sense. And her back and forth with Poe was great. All right, next his title name was DJ on IMDb, so a master code breaker. So I completely forgot Benicio del Toro was in the movie. So realistically, if you look at him in the cell, he could have escaped at any time because he had that gadget to get through the jail. He was just waiting for the right person and the right offer to get him up. Because the thing that was interesting, which I thought he was very similar to Loki, and how like you didn't know what side he was on. Whether he was good, whether he was bad, which really he wasn't good or bad. He was just on the side of green, which turned out when the reveal where everything fell apart. So just sold them and told them about the cloaking for the money and the ship, which he was well. I mean, granted, could he have been cut a little bit? Yeah, and I'm not sure what was up with his stutter. I guess that was to show that. I guess that how the guy with the red bloom was very suave looking, very put together, showing that you don't need to look like that to be a genius master codebreaker. I guess that was the point of his stutter and the way his homeliness looking very bummish. So there's a couple more left. So Maz, the one scene where she told him where to go to find the Master Codebreaker, it almost seemed like her and that Master Codebreaker had a thing saying, "Oh, there's not a thing he can't do." And the minor. So C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8, Yoda. Which Yoda, it was nice to see Yoda in this. Awesome. So Chewie and the Porg. So liked all of them. Yoda, that was a nice surprise. Oh, page turners, they must have been. That was pretty great. And you read them? Well, didn't read them. Maybe if there were some spark notes for the Jedi text, he would have read them. Oh. And BB-8 was so versatile. Controlling the bigger machines, helping them get out of jail, helping DJ Benicio del Toro's character with the ship, and helping Poe in the beginning, he was great. And Chewie's interaction with Luke and Leia, that was great. Now the Porgs. Now Scott, I don't know where to get a Porg. Or I'm guessing you could get it on Toys R Us, Amazon, or really anywhere else where toys are sold. Those are probably more geared for the audience that's probably under 15, 16. That was definitely Chewie roasting a Porg. That's why all the Porgs looked at him, which that was kind of funny. And then he was yelling at them, and then the Porgs screaming with Chewie, and then being on the ship, and how they were watching when he ate them. And yeah, I didn't mind them, but I get they're something that Disney did for the younger audience. Okay, so that's essentially the main character review. Now to the top 5. All right. So, Holdo blows up the bunch of those First Order ships. We see that Finn and Rose are about to just bite it, which we knew that Finn was going to die. If it was just Rose, then yeah, probably, because why not? So we see all, and I love how the movie just goes silent. The first time I saw it, I wasn't sure if the sound went off, and there multiple people know that was designed like that, and it led to the Phasma and Finn fight, which that was great. Really enjoyed that. and the Chrome Dome scum, Rebel scum, and that square shot where you see Phasma's eyes, which is obviously played by Brienne of Tarth. So always great when a Game of Thrones cast member can make it onto a big movie like this. Okay, number 4. Okay, so when Rey confronted Luke about creating Kylo Ren, and she hits him with the stick, and they have like a mini fight, which that was kind of like one of those fights that they had in the first Avengers, where you knew that none of them was going to kill anyone, but it was just great. And then how she just was like, okay, she was like, game over, had the lightsaber, and then telling the story of how he sensed like all the darkness growing in Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, and for a moment he picked up the saber and thought about it, and he realized that he wasn't going to kill him, even though he thought about it, and he saw the frightened Ben Solo. Ben Solo turned on, was scared, just in self-defense, put his lightsaber up and like destroyed the building, and thought he was dead, and destroyed the rest, and then took the remaining to start the Knights of Ren. And just learning that truth, because Rey kind of was deceiving, not sure if Luke actually tried to kill him, which that's what Kylo made Rey kind of believe. Alright, so number 3. So I love the Poe's opening scene when it looks like that they're all done for, and Hux is about to say you're doomed, like no prisoners, blow them up, like with the whole line of Hux, tall guy, pasty, and he's just doing that just to charge BB-8, just to go and just tear shit up, and with the Dragnot, and how I was trying to count how many on Leia's board that lost. I counted kind of around like 8 out of 12 they lost, which led to the whole thing of Rose's sister dying, where she dropped the payload. Very noble, and yeah, there was a nice way to start the movie, get the audience into it, and yeah, really great. Okay, so my favorite 2 is a very, very, very close decision, which could have been 2 and which could have been 1. But okay, so number 2 was when Rey was brought in front of Snoke, and just feeling that you're a true Jedi, you must die, and Kylo, which I just had a feeling there's no way that he's gonna kill Rey, and I know he was gonna kill Snoke, but the first time I didn't like where did it come from, but I noticed where how he turned the lightsaber this way. If you turn it on, it would go right into Snoke. That was great. And then them just fighting all the Red Knights, his henchmen together, and just the throwing back of lightsabers, and that was so great. Each one to join each other. I thought there was a chance. Is Ben Solo actually going to be Ben Solo? And because Rey was saying if we get into turn, that could be the thing that could change it to us for us to win, and that was great. Okay, so then number 1. So the whole scene of when Kylo fires everything on Luke, and then Hux is like, enough, and then we see the red smoke, and him just go like that, and I was like, oh, that was amazing. And he wants to be lowered down, and Hux is saying don't lose track, and he just shoves him like someone getting shoved like the Giants' offensive line, because it's that horrible and it's an embarrassment. But that whole overall fight sequence of not here to save you, him saying everything you've said is wrong. That was amazing. I mean, I was losing, and like I said before, unless you were really looking for the red footprint, you could tell it was a hologram. And also, there was, when I just saw it now, about an hour ago, there was no gray in any of Luke's hair. So it's like either they got just for men in the galaxy, or those like kind of like lizard like caretakers made him look really, really young. So that was another clip. But unless you were looking for it, which I was this last time, you couldn't tell. And how he sticks the lightsaber and it's like, see you around, and that led to the whole spark. And then one last thing, how the movie ends with that kid, which when I was watching YouTube, he was saying he used the Force to get the broom. Now, unless you're looking for it, it was literally he used the Force to get the broom to come 1 foot to him, which I didn't notice. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, is that kid going to be Luke? And speaking of Luke, when Luke dies, you see the twin sons, which is homage to A New Hope, which is, like, I believe, in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So yeah, so Luke served his purpose, and at the end of the day, he did stand in front of the whole First Order with a laser sword and created that spark for the rebellion and the Republic to be born. So that wraps up my Star Wars The Last Jedi review with spoilers. If you like this video, like it, share it, comment, and again, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Way of Weinstein. Thanks. Have a great rest of your weekend.